Alright, radio check, loud and clear. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Welcome along to the live stream for the sprint race in Sao Paulo. We'll have 24 laps of racing. We will be getting underway in 29 minutes time. Currently the drivers are making their way out of the pit lane, doing some exploratory laps, and then going to park up on the grid. Yeah, so there is no rain as of now. The rain forecast has been pushed back a little bit, and we will probably be getting more rain tomorrow. I don't think that we will be. There is a small chance that we get rain later on in today evening for qualifying. However, most of the rain has been predicted to fall for tomorrow now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. We've got a couple more things to go through as we get underway for the sprint race. So first thing, it will be Oliver Behrman driving today. It is not K-Mag. K-Mag has not been... K-Mag has not recovered from being ill, and because of that, he will be... he'll be sitting out this Grand Prix, and Oliver Behrman will be driving for him instead. Very nice. What else have we got to talk about? Oh yeah, let me just disable adverts. There you go. All right, yeah, the drivers just making their way around the circuit. Weather looks pretty good, and yeah. Oh, I've missed a bunch of messages. My chat's been super delayed. Hello, OG Ninja MCG. Oh, is it? It's happy birthday, OG Ninja. Yeah. So let's see what Ferrari can do. I think they'll do pretty well. Everyone will start on mediums. That is what we are expecting. Some drivers, may take the risk and try to do it on hards. They'll have a harder first couple of laps, but then towards the end, they will have better tyre wear and better grip compared to the medium runners. So there's a bit of a gamble to play there. I'm not sure though. None of the drivers are starting. I don't think anyone's starting from the pit lane. All the drivers are currently sat in the pits. They're just leaving the garages now, doing their install laps, and then they'll be making their way and parking up on the grid like Verstappen and Norris and Behrman have done as of now. All right. Who do you think is going to win the sprint? Well, I'm going to go with one of the McLarens. I think McLaren's pace yesterday was a cut above the rest, and Piastri's looking good. Norris is also looking good. So we'll see what happens, We'll have 24 laps of racing, as it says on the left side of the screen there. And it should just be, there'll be no pit stops by the looks of it, just a single stint on most likely a set of medium tyres. Yeah, we'll have Verstappen starting in fourth. He'll be starting right behind Lando Norris, and then there'll be Leclerc, who's starting right behind Oscar Piastri. Both Norris and Verstappen will be on the dirty side of the grid. That's not going to have too big of an impact for today's race, but yeah, something to just take into account. And I will probably say that again. Right. What else have we got to talk about? Well, of course, we've had technically the first, I'd say, pole position for Piastri. I don't know if it's technically not a pole position. Technically, it's just first place in the sprint qualifying, but nevertheless, a fantastic lap from Piastri, and he should be able to do pretty well this weekend. First time that he's out-qualified his teammate in a quite a few races now, so I reckon Piastri will be looking to capitalise and give us some good performances. All right, the only drivers currently sat in the pits now are Alonso and Zhou, and in fact they're making their way out. Alonso's coming down the pit lane, and Zhou will be as well. Very nice. So if we have a look at the the analysis from qualifying, if all of the drivers did perfect laps. Oh wait, it says the pit lane exit is closed. I don't know why Alonso, Stroll, and Zhou are starting from the pits. Right, I will double check why they're starting from the pits. I don't know. That's a little bit unexpected, but I guess the Astons didn't have a good weekend and they want to change the setup. And Zhou also had a pretty bad qualifying session, so I suspect he'll be starting. They'll be changing the setup as well. All right. Let's see. What they're doing? No, it's not a free practice. The drivers are, of course, when the drivers start the race, they are on the starting grid, but the cars, of course, aren't stored on the starting grid overnight. They're stored in the garages, so they aren't pushed out of the garage towards the starting grid. They are, in fact, driven from the garage to the starting grid. Just to make sure everything works before and have a, basically do an install lap, check everything works before you start the race. This is not the formation lap. The formation lap will be taking place in 22 minutes' time. And once again, if we have a look at the race pace, we only had one practice session to gather some information about the race pace, but I think that is more than enough for most of the teams, and it looks like Ferrari are slightly behind the McLarens by a very small amount. I would say, it's less than a tenth of a second per lap between Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc in race pace. So that should indicate that we're going to have a very, very tight battle up at the front between the McLarens and the Ferraris. We're still yet to see what Verstappen can do. He's a tenth back from the McLaren's pace as well, so he should be right up there in the mix. Of course, Hamilton and Perez both got eliminated out of Q2 yesterday, so they are going to have a bit of an uphill battle if they are going to score any points. The point system, just as a reminder, the driver in first position will get 8 points, the driver in second position will get 7, the driver in third will get 6, and so on and so forth, all the way down to 8th place getting 1 point. So only the top 8 will be scoring points for this sprint race rather than the top 10 that we'll be having tomorrow. The sprint race starts in 20 minutes or so, but the drivers make their way to the grids, and then the engineers put the cars up on jacks, they change the wheels, they double check the fuel loads, and they double check a load of other things. It's a pretty standard race start procedure, to be honest, guys. Why is the start not already happened? Because they wait around. There's a designated start time for the race. All right, we've got 1,500 people tuned into live stream, folks. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It very much does help out. We are on 518 likes. If we could get to 2,000, that would be mind blowing. All right. Let's see, what else have we got to talk about? Are they waiting for Alonso, Zhou, and Stroll? No, Alonso, Zhou, and Stroll will be starting from the pit lane. Pit lane has been closed now, so let's just find out why they are starting from the pit lane. I suspect it's just a setup change because parc fermé regulations are applied between sprint quali and the sprint race. All three of those drivers got eliminated in Q1, so there's not that much of a loss for them really from starting from the pit lane. And I think what they'll do is just modify the setup and get some accurate information on what they want, what kind of setup they want for the race tomorrow. Nothing is mentioned, in fact. It just says that they're starting from the pits. I'm not sure why, but setup changes. Yeah, it makes sense. Is the pit stop illegal in a sprint? No, you are totally allowed to have a pit stop. However, you don't have to have a pit stop. So, there'll be a couple of drivers that decide, this is what I want to do, and I'll come in for the pit. Well, actually, I don't think anyone is going to decide to come into the pits, but if they wanted to, it is allowed. Whereas in the race, it is mandated. You have to have a pit stop. It's not allowed that you can't have one. So, Hello, do you commentate as well? I'm fed up with the Sky commentary. Yes, I do commentate. Commentate all of the sprint races, all of the qualifyings, all of the normal races, and most of the time the free practice sessions as well. If you really, really want, like, if it starts raining. Yeah, unfortunately, the rain has been delayed. It was meant to rain today. If you check the forecast yesterday, however, the forecast today says that the rain has been delayed to tomorrow. So we shall see. We shall see. I mean, if you search Interlagos weather now on Google, you will get the entire forecast for tomorrow is heavy rain. So, I mean, that should be good. However, I would have loved some rain today as well. All right. Yeah. Okay. Of course, we've have a couple of the main things to point out. Liam Lawson in 8th position, Yuki Tsunoda in 17th. The drivers, of course, are in the same car, and in fact, Lawson also outqualified Sergio Perez, who's in the Red Bull. So Lawson doing a fantastic job in his debut in Formula One, and managed to beat Tsunoda and managed to beat Perez as well. So there are, of course, rumours that Red Bull are looking to buy Colapinto for 20 million. Now, of course, I'm not sure if that means they are going to buy him under the Red Bull Driver Academy and then he drives for AlphaTauri, or is it going to be they buy him and he drives for Red Bull? Because Lawson has also been performing very well, and I guess that's more of a decision for the end of the season rather than for now. If they are going to keep Sergio Perez, or if they're not, and if they aren't going to keep him, who's going to replace him? Yeah, and I mean, there are 2 other seats available. There's, of course, the seat in Sauber. There's Nico Hulkenberg, who's confirmed to be driving for next year alongside, driving for the Audi team, and then alongside him, no one else yet has been confirmed. There is potentially K-Mag that is driving. That would mean both Haas drivers switch from the Haas team to the Audi team next year, if that were to happen. There is, of course, Valtteri Bottas, who's also top candidate because he knows a lot of people in the team. Sometimes it's a little difficult when you have 2 new drivers in the team. Both drivers aren't used to the way how things work. They don't know the engineers. They don't have a good relationship built up. Whereas with Bottas, if he continues on, he'll at least know the engineers, he knows how the debriefs work, and he'll be able to help Nico Hulkenberg acclimatise to the new team. And then, so those are the 2 current drivers that are in the running, and then of course there is Colapinto and Bortoletto. So 4 drivers in the running for that 1 seat in Audi, and yeah, right. I searched on Google now and it says 50% of chance of rain at Interlagos. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to double check the forecast, but I think it said 50% chance of rain for tomorrow. Let me double check Interlagos weather. I mean, we'll get a percentage chance of rain from the FIA as well. Oh, it's just changed. No way. Oh wow. Okay, so it changed from when I checked this morning when I woke up, and now it says 50% chance of rain. But if it does rain, it'll be a tiny amount, like a fraction of a millimeter. So maybe qualifying will have rain. However, I don't think we're going to have any significant impact from the rain in the sprint race. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hello, Multi Ninja. Nice to see you here. And now we've got Spectre X as well. Loads of moderators in the chat. And here we go. Our first team radio has come through. 15 minutes to go. For a message from to Valtteri Bottas. All right. There's, of course, also, if we're talking about drivers that aren't performing as well as they should be, we've, of course, got Esteban Ocon as well, with Pierre Gasly up in 7th position, Ocon down in 16th. That is a 9-place difference between those 2 teammates. And, Gasly's doing pretty well, but Ocon not so much. And, Ocon is also the driver that's leaving next year, so hopefully Jack Doohan will be able to deliver. All right, we've just got a message from Race Control. The risk of rain for the Formula One sprint is 10%, so a pretty small risk of rain. And yeah, any chance of a rain today or tomorrow? Tomorrow it's looking good for a wet race. However, today it is unlikely. Yeah, I mean tomorrow I'm also going to wake up. I'm going to check the weather, and if it's raining in Interlagos, I mean I'm going to be very, very happy about that. Is the McLaren rear wing legal now, and Red Bull happy with it? Yes, they are. The rear wing is legal. McLaren had, of course, the little mini DRS thing. The FIA said, oh, it's not allowed, and they had to change the rear wing, and they did, and the FIA is fine with it, and so is Red Bull. Yeah. Right. Question: what does the sprint race decide? The sprint race does not decide anything. It is totally isolated now. So previously, the sprint race used to decide the starting grid of the actual race. However, that has been changed, and now it is just it's its own isolated thing. You have sprint qualifying, and you have the sprint race, and you'll get your points awarded for the top 8. And apart from that, it's just going to be a thing of its own. Yeah. Papaya rules? I think it might be papaya rules. The championship gap is far too big for Norris to close up in a reasonable amount. Unless Verstappen has 2 DNFs in the next 4 races, then it's looking unlikely for Lando Norris to win this championship. So Piastri, can full well just go F your championship and go on and win this race. I would see no reason why they're going to swap the drivers around, especially for a matter of 1 point. Yeah, Piastri will not be happy. F1 Gamer, would you ever do endurance streams like 24 Hours of Le Mans? I, in fact, did do an endurance stream. I think, was it the 2021 24 Hours of Le Mans? I think I did that one. But I only commentated for an hour or so. I don't know that much about endurance racing, so I can't talk that much about I can't talk for 24 hours about Le Mans. Yeah, but I mean, the 8 hours of Bahrain is on right now, which is pretty interesting, and I think I'll watch a couple of the onboards here and there. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe, but the problem with doing endurance racing and MotoGP racing and GT racing is that all of the races are on the weekends, and quite often they overlap with Formula One races. So yeah, Formula One of course would take priority, and yeah, all right. Do you think Verstappen and Red Bull are sandbagging? I think they are definitely not sandbagging. They just don't have the pace, really. It's because McLaren are just constantly bringing upgrades. They had floor upgrades last weekend. They have rear wing upgrades this weekend. And they are just able to deliver every single time. And they're still bringing upgrades. However, the fact that they're bringing upgrades so late on into the season may indicate that they aren't focused as much on next season's on next season's championship and next season's car as much, because Ferrari haven't brought any upgrades in a while, and they were meant to have upgrades in Austin. They just never brought any, and it might seem that Ferrari have switched over all of their focus onto next year's car, whereas McLaren, they are still fighting away for this year's car, and that could compromise them next year. But I don't know. I guess if they're starting far enough ahead, going into the winter, then they should be able to still maintain the quickest car. But it is, it's all up in the air, and it all depends on how the cars, how the upgrades pan out for the teams. Why is Alonso still in the pits? Alonso, Stroll, and Zhou have all made setup changes between qualifying and the sprint race, so that is why they are starting from the pits. Someone asked earlier, when is the actual qualifying for the actual race happening? That is happening in when is it? 4 hours and 10 minutes time. So yeah, I'll be commentating that on the channel as well. So yeah. Is it? No, it's not in 4 hours. It's in. Oh no, it is 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours and 10 minutes. And that's when the qualifying for the actual races. Track temperatures is up at 45 degrees, so fairly high, but still not the highest we've seen all weekend long. We had 55 degrees in FP1. So the drivers should be able to manage a set of medium tyres to the end of the weekend, to the end of the sprint race. However, it will be difficult to manage your tyres for the entire length unless it's a safety car. If there's a safety car for around about 5 laps or something, then the drivers will be a-okay and not have any issues. But the final 2, 3, 4 laps are going to be very tough on the drivers, and they have to be very careful not to spin out. Leclerc had a $5,000 fine for swearing during an interview. I mean, that is also stupid because, well, I mean, community service was stupid. Getting fined is also stupid. Yeah. Because the thing is, the F1 technically broadcasts these interviews, but most of the time there is a delay between whatever's actually happening and whatever is sent across the world on the TV. So because of that, there is a 30-second delay on Sky Sports, and that's more than enough time to put a beep in or to cut it out or do something else if they really care about the swearing. But I think the FIA should just grow up and not get too bothered about swear words. Yeah, that's what they should do. But is that going to happen? Probably not. The FIA are grid penalties for swearing, obviously, yeah. I think that would be totally the best choice. Would make 100% sense for sure. Right. Ooh. Outstanding penalties for swearing. Yeah, I think I've sweared a couple of times on my streams under interesting circumstances, but yeah, I don't. I'm sure most of you guys don't really mind. Obviously, I'm not gonna swear every other word, but in certain situations, it's just required, isn't it? And that means Max goes to P20 for every qualifying. Yeah. Can you take us around the track? Sure, why not? So there is 14 corners on this circuit. It is a 4.3 kilometer long track, 40 meters of elevation change from the highest to the lowest part of the circuit, which is very interesting. And yeah, so let's go through the the circuit essentially. Yeah, so this is of course the start finish line. There is a 200-meter run before you start hitting the brakes for turn number 1, so quite short of a run there. That should mean the drivers in first and second should hold on to first and second going into turn number 1 and probably shouldn't be overtaken by Leclerc and Verstappen. However, there's no guarantee with Lando Norris starting in second place. And then, of course, you have the Senna S, turn number 1, 2, and 3. These 3 corners, you really do have to cut you have to hit the apex at turn number 1, cut the apex slightly at 2, and then turn 3 is flat. But you can gain if you nail those 3 corners like absolutely perfectly, you can go 3/10 quicker than the rest of the 2/10, 3/10 quicker than the rest of the drivers through that section. So the rhythm and nailing the first corner and just having a good flow through the second and third can gain you a bunch of time. Then you have DRS as you come down the straight towards turn number 4. Here you can exceed track limits. I think we saw was it I don't remember who, but someone did exceed track limits here yesterday, and this is also a prime opportunity to push someone off the circuit. If you want to, if Max Verstappen wants to push someone off the circuit, this is prime spot. I mean, we've seen other drivers do it as well. We saw it in 2021. Verstappen and Lewis did the exact same thing. They were going into turn number 4. Verstappen went slightly late on the brakes and then tapped Lewis wide. But yeah, so turn number 4, very good overtaking opportunity also. Then you go through turn number 5 and 6. You go up the hill towards turn number 6. At 6, there is an entry apex and an apex on the there's a curb on the apex, so the drivers should be fine there. And Towards turn number 7, it's a little hard because you're braking and turning at the same time. However, it's nowhere near as hard as Bahrain turn 10 because there's a lot less turning involved at this corner. Another hairpin that you have to make your way around. Turn number 8 also, turn number 9, sorry, you go down the hill, another hairpin. Turn number 10, there is no entry curb. There is just the painted white line and then there's the grass. So your margin for error at turn number 10 is very, very minimal. And you're back onto the power on the exit turn number 10 towards turn number 11, which you are flat in dry conditions. You are probably going to lift in wet conditions. And then turn number 12 is probably the most important corner on the circuit because you've got a 1.2 kilometer, 1 kilometer long straight. And well, the traction out of turn number 12 decides whether you're quick or slow in the straights. And yeah, you have another DRS zone as you make your way across the start finish line. Okay, so that is a lap of Interlagos. We have 3 minutes left on the timer, and the drivers are getting back into their cars now. They're getting information over the track temperature. There we go. We see track temperature information being conveyed to Oliver Behrman. And here we go. Very nice. Thank you, F1 Gamer, for stopping me having to pay £30 a month for Sky Sports. No worries, no worries. Glad you do enjoy it. Yeah, Sky Sports charges far, far too much. We're getting pretty close to 112,000 subscribers, folks. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and be sure to hit the like button as well. Hopefully we can get to 2,000 likes. That would be fantastic. But here we are now, round number 21 of 24. We have the time information coming through very shortly as well. In fact, look at that. Everyone is starting the race on the medium tyres. Gasly and Lawson starting on fresh sets of mediums. Everyone else starting it on used sets of mediums. Yeah, it looks like everyone's gone for the same strategy because it does make the most sense. The medium tyres can do 24 laps. If the race was, say, 30 laps, then there would be probably a little bit more of a mix between the mediums and the hards. However, 24 laps is a pretty easy choice. Pick the mediums and start driving. Okay. So yeah, here we go then. 2 minutes, 1 minute 30 seconds. Not long now till the drivers get underway for the formation lap, and then after the formation lap, we will just have the normal race. As well, 24 laps of racing, yeah, as standard. Okay, so let's make our way through the starting grid. We have Guan Yu Zhou, Lance Stroll, and Fernando Alonso, all three of them starting from the pit lane after setup changes have been made to their car. We have Yuki Tsunoda starting in 17th, getting out-qualified by his teammate by 9 positions. We also have Esteban Ocon starting in 16th, who's also been out-qualified by his teammate by 9 positions. So both drivers have got a lot of work to do if they're going to get themselves up into the points. Bottas with a great quali yesterday, managing to scrape the Sauber through into Q2. Then we have Franco Colapinto in 14th position. Good job from him so far. And let's see if he can continue improving and keep with the approximate pace of Alex Albon. Then we have Sergio Perez, who got knocked out of Q2. He's got to do well today, but it looks like his seat might be given to someone else by the end of the season. Well, for the start of next season, we've got Nico Hülkenberg, who in fact got out-qualified by his rookie teammate, which is a bit of a surprise, but yeah, Nico Hülkenberg, he did get pole here, in fact, in 2010, but he is currently in 12th position. For today, we've got Hamilton also getting knocked out of Q2. He's starting in 11th position. And then we have Behrman in 10th, who made it through into Q3. Then Alex Albon, then Lawson. Then we've got Pierre Gasly dragging the Alpine somehow up into 7th position. And then George Russell in 6th. Carlos Sainz in 5th, Max Verstappen starting the race in 4th position. He'll be starting directly behind Lando Norris, and then we have Charles Leclerc in 3rd place, Lando Norris in 2nd, and Oscar Piastri in 1st. The drivers with even numbers will be starting on the dirty side of the grid. The drivers with odd numbers will be starting on the clean side of the grid. It shouldn't make too big of an impact, but nonetheless it is something to take into account. We have hit 112k, which is fantastic. So I guess I can just stick that to 115, and maybe we'll hit that tomorrow during the race. But currently we are on the formation lap, folks. And the sprint race will get underway in 1 minute once the formation lap has been completed. All right, here we go. Why they only use mediums, not fresh? Because there's a limited number of tyres that you can use on a weekend, and I think they've used these medium tyres during their qualifying laps yesterday, so they're just going to continue on using them because they do want to save some medium tyres for the race tomorrow, because tomorrow they will be required. It will be the optimal race tyre. So that's why they're deciding to use some used mediums to make sure that for the race tomorrow they'll have enough fresh sets. All right. Let's see. Garbage timing. Yeah. I'm sure the time zones are pretty bad in Australia. Okay. So here we go then. We've just got a couple burnouts here. You got 3 short burnouts for Oscar Piastri, 1 short burnout for Charles Leclerc, and then we've got a couple more burnouts for Colapinto as well. Everyone getting the burnouts done. Also getting the front brakes ready as well, because they will cool down, especially for the drivers at the front of the grid. They've got to wait for everyone at the back of the grid to make their way to the grid position, and because of that, they're going to need to have some extra temperature in those front brakes. Lando Norris, though, is right there behind Oscar Piastri, getting ready to go racing. Here we go, folks. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Who do you think is going to be leading on the end of lap number 1? Will Lando Norris lose the lead? Will he maintain 2nd place? Or let's see what happens. All right. But thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 10,000 people tuned in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'm commentating for the qualifying later today in 4 hours' time. And I'm also commentating for the race tomorrow where we have rain forecast. So, yeah. Buckle up your seatbelts. We are in for an exciting race. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. The drivers are just getting their clutch settings dialed in. And we should be racing in a matter of seconds. All right, here we go, folks. The last car is approaching the grid. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights out, and away we go. And Oscar Piastri gets a great start, cuts across his teammate immediately going into turn number 1. Fantastic start there from Oscar Piastri, but it's the 2 McLarens making their way through turn number 3, and then Charles Leclerc is right on Verstappen's tail, and they're too wide going down at the back there. The drivers from the pit lane make their exit as well, and Oscar Piastri leads the way from Lando Norris, and there's a lot of dust being kicked up at the back, but everyone keeps it clean by the looks of it, and no damage for anyone so far. All right, Verstappen is getting extremely racy with Charles Leclerc, but look at that, the top 8 hold position. Nobody changes positions in the top 8. We have got Alex Albon trying to overtake Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg's had a fantastic start. Started in 11th, now up into 9th. Started in 12th, sorry, now up into 9th. A fantastic job from him, and he has really capitalised off there. Behrman also gets past Alex Albon. Albon down 2 positions. I think the warm-up procedure for the Williams wasn't ideal. And, he's down 2 places. DRS will be enabled on this lap, folks. DRS is already enabled. You can see all the radio messages flooding through on the right-hand side of the screen. And as the drivers now make their way across the start-finish line, and we're going to have DRS going into turn number 4. Leclerc's going to have no DRS from Norris, but Verstappen will have DRS on Leclerc. Norris will have DRS on Piastri. So the 2 McLaren teammates, is it going to be papaya rules? Are they going to squabble? We'll have to wait and see. But Verstappen right on Leclerc's tail as they make their way through turn number 4. This is going to get very, very exciting. Okay. Here we go then, folks. Here we go. A purple first sector from Oliver Behrman. Fantastic first sector. I mean, he got a toe off Albon. That gave him the fastest first sector, but regardless, a good job from Ollie Behrman. Leclerc is on 3-lap older tyres than Verstappen. That should make a small but reasonable, a measurable impact. And here they go through the middle sector now. Verstappen is pushing Charles Leclerc through these corners at this point. He is right on his tail. Does Piastri get a good enough exit out of turn number 1? Only time will tell. And here they go. DRS activated for Lando Norris. DRS activated for Max Verstappen. Here they go down the straight. I don't know why the gaps aren't updating. In fact, Verstappen, he looks to the inside now. Can he get the move done on Charles Leclerc? Yes, he can. Can he? Oh, he's on the outside. Verstappen's on the inside. And so Leclerc's on the inside. Verstappen's on the outside. And Leclerc manages to hold it. Superhero, thank you for the donation again. Yeah, very much do appreciate it, buddy. And Piastri holds a narrow lead. Verstappen darts to the inside on Charles Leclerc, but still a little bit too far back to get that move done. And yeah, solid defense from Charles Leclerc so far. Okay. All right. Ooh, the data's just frozen there. It should be back in 5 seconds. I've just got a 5-second timer. Yeah, there we go. All right. Once again, Piastri now exits out of turn number 12, and Charles Leclerc does the same. And they've come over the radio to Max Verstappen saying, "Take your time, Max, you know the game." So yeah, Verstappen is being told not to do anything stupid and not get any penalties given out to him. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Leclerc has got DRS now off Lando Norris. I don't know why the times aren't updating. It takes a while for the times to update. But a fastest lap of the race from Charles Leclerc. He's now got DRS on Norris, and that's going to really help him defend against Max Verstappen. And Piastri is now the driver under threat. Sainz is also off the back. He's 2 seconds off the back of Verstappen. I don't think he's going to catch up. It all depends on the pace of the DRS train ahead. George Russell has got a lap time deleted, exceeding track limits at turn number 2. Not too big of a concern as of now for George Russell. Okay. Three-way battle for a four-way battle for first place. Yeah, a four-way battle for the top 3 spots. Either way, very, very exciting. Yeah, purple sector 1 from Charles Leclerc. He is looking extremely, extremely quick. And as the drivers now once again make their way through the back straight, DRS is enabled. Lando Norris opens DRS and is chasing down his teammate. Verstappen a little bit drops off the back, actually. Yeah, interesting. Verstappen's losing a little bit of pace here. He didn't get DRS off Leclerc, and it looks like a 2-horse race at the front. Lando Norris versus Oscar Piastri, the 2 McLarens. Fighting away in a 1-2. Yeah, I'm not sure why the gaps aren't refreshing. I don't know, because all of the all the sector times are refreshing. The gaps should refresh. Yeah. Apologies for that. I'll try and get it fixed for quali, but okay. Is Charles about to lose DRS again? Yeah, I think he might. Interesting though. All right. The drivers are having some small issues with the wind here. The wind has picked up a little bit, 7.3 kilometers per hour, and it's a crosswind through most of the middle sector. So it just makes the cars a little bit more unstable, a little bit more twitchy, which doesn't help. But the drivers are managing with it. Track temperature is also up to 48 degrees now, which means that yeah, tyre wear is going to be a little bit harder to manage, but it should be manageable for the drivers. 55 degrees is what we had in FP1, so and we still had Lewis Hamilton do I think 30 laps on a set of medium tyres, so we should be fine. All right, and the gaps at the top have been broken up. Charles Leclerc no longer has DRS on Norris. Verstappen once again has DRS on Leclerc. So yeah, 2-horse fight. I thought it was overcast. Yeah, it was overcast, but for some reason track temperature is still very high. I'm not sure exactly why. All right. Yeah, the McLaren, sorry, not the McLarens, the Aston Martins in 18th and 19th. I mean, their setup changes have probably worked, but they are still not gaining any positions, which is not ideal for, for the Aston Martins. Okay. And here comes now Lando Norris. He's looking to catch up to the back of his teammate. Once again, a little bit too far. Verstappen, though, he does have a run here on Charles Leclerc. Will he be able to get ahead of him into turn number 1? He looks to the inside a little bit too far back again. But however, going through turn number 4, Leclerc's got a bit of a worse exit than Verstappen has. And Verstappen, with the fastest lap of the race, is on his way towards turn number 4. He looks to the inside just like he did on the previous lap, but too far back once again. And Verstappen still holds on to 4th place, but no signs of no signs of Leclerc making a mistake and losing position. Oh, Norris has come over the radio saying that there's not much I can do here. I thought we spoke about this. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Norris sort of implying that Piastri should be giving up the position? Because if that's what he's implying, that definitely should not happen. I don't think Piastri should give up the position to Norris. I think maybe the plan was, Piastri gives me DRS and we break away from the other drivers, but Piastri has not given Lando Norris DRS and he said, screw your championship, I'm going to win this race. And the Piastri 1.3 second gap there. Leclerc now has DRS on Norris, which makes Verstappen a lot less of a threat. And we've got a little bit more of a bigger gap between the drivers in 1st and 2nd place. Piastri breaking away here, and Norris coming under threat of Leclerc. Verstappen under threat to make another overtake, but Leclerc has the DRS. It's just enough to hang on. If he didn't have the DRS on this occasion, Verstappen probably would have got that move done, but he's hanging in there. Lando Norris is helping him out on this occasion. Yeah, they've come over to Norris saying, understood, keep doing what you're doing. And Norris has just said, yeah, whatever. So Norris isn't pleased about whatever's going on there. We'll see if there's any more team radio messages coming to Piastri, if they're going to say, start lifting and coasting into turn number 1 to ensure that Norris gets DRS or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Let's wait and see what Piastri can do. Into turn number 1, though, the drivers in 2nd, 3rd and 4th are extremely close to each other, half a second between each of the drivers. And Lando Norris has got no DRS from the drivers ahead of him. And Charles Leclerc now, as they make their way through turn number 3 and 4, is chasing him down. Still too far back. They are in a DRS train, and, choo-choo for the DRS train. But sadly, no overtakes as of now. Oh, Oscar, is that a mistake from Oscar, or is he backed off on purpose? Because Norris is within DRS range again. We haven't had any team radios to Piastri. I don't think every single team radio shows up. Oh, look at this, folks. It's just going to pop up on your screen there. Give Lando DRS. They've just said that here. Yeah, Piastri has been told to give Norris DRS. He hasn't been told to swap positions, but he has been told to give him DRS. And that's going to ensure a McLaren 1-2. So it is in the favour, it's the ideal situation for the team, essentially, just to say, you keep the drivers in a 1-2 position. You can give some DRS and hold off the faster drivers. Leclerc and Verstappen. Verstappen's clearly faster than Leclerc. However, he's not able to make an overtake because Norris is giving Leclerc DRS, and Leclerc isn't able to overtake Norris because Piastri is giving Norris DRS. So it's an interesting game of tactics. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Norris isn't complaining about, I don't think Norris is expecting the positions to be swapped, but I think he's just expecting that his teammate gives him DRS so he can hold on to 2nd place. Yeah. Oh wow, 15,000 people tuned into live stream, folks. If you could hit the like button, please be sure to do so. It hugely helps out the channel. I'll be commentating for the sprint race. The sprint races right now. I'll be commentating for qualifying and the actual race tomorrow as well. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button as well. Okay. And as they exit turn number 13, Piastri is 1.01 seconds ahead of Norris, and he's once again broken DRS. I think Piastri's just going to come over the radio and say, oh, Norris needs to speed up. Like, I don't know what's going on here, because, yeah, Norris is constantly falling back, and he's just got DRS off Piastri there. Piastri once again slowing down to give Norris DRS. I think Piastri's clearly the quicker driver this weekend, at least in race pace. I think in quali Norris still had an edge, but yeah, he couldn't put a lap together yesterday. All right, if we're looking at the speed trap speeds, Max Verstappen's the quickest through the speed traps, 333 kilometers an hour, as he was trying to overtake Charles Leclerc, but it just wasn't enough, as it just wasn't enough for Max Verstappen. Still, he's stuck behind Charles Leclerc. I mean, look, if we look at the top eight are all the exact same positions. Perez has made progress. Hamilton has gone backwards. I don't know what's going on here with Lewis Hamilton. He started the race in 11th. He's gone down into 14th. So yeah, some work has to be done for Mercedes. I mean, especially on Lewis Hamilton's side of the grid. Russell's doing fine. If we look at the lap times, Hamilton is about 0.6 of a lap slower than George Russell. Of course, now that is because he is stuck behind Colapinto, but regardless, I don't know how he's gone back so many places. Perez, though, up into 9th. He'll be chasing down Lawson, and I'm sure they'll have some stuff to sort out after last weekend in Mexico. But the top 4 still nose to tail, and Piastri still giving his teammates some DRS so they can hold position. All right. Piastri is only giving Lando DRS only in the second DRS zone. Yeah, I think that might be on purpose. I'm not sure if it is on purpose or not. But yeah. The real overtaking opportunity is turn 4. I think we see a lot of overtakes happen at turn number 1. However, those overtakes are so easy that they would have happened anyway at turn number 1 or at turn number 4. But turn number 4 is when the harder overtakes happen, because the drivers get close towards turn number 1 and then they set themselves up for an overtake into turn 4. Norris does have DRS, I think, on this occasion, yeah. And Piastri is Piastri's helping out his teammate. Charles Leclerc makes a little bit of a mistake there, and Verstappen is right on his tail. Leclerc's made a mistake going into turn number 4. Leclerc's to the inside, Verstappen to the outside. He moves under braking. Verstappen's already going to be complaining over the radio. That was a very late move there from Charles Leclerc. He went to the inside line, and then just as he hit the brakes, he started turning back to the outside line, and Verstappen did the exact same thing. And Verstappen is not going to be happy there. But Leclerc holds position, albeit using slightly shady tactics. I don't think he's going to get a penalty. I think maybe a black and white flag at most to say don't move under braking again. But yeah. Okay. Verstappen said, come on, Charles, man, so many mistakes. And then they've just said, just keep your calm, now's your chance, mate. And it is his chance once again, as now they go towards turn number 1. Leclerc has no DRS from Lando Norris ahead of him, and he is now a sitting duck to be attacked by Max Verstappen. They make their way through the Senna S. Leclerc gets a good exit. Max Verstappen gets an even better one, and now they are heading towards turn number 4. Verstappen with the DRS, he looks to the inside, but he's too far back on this occasion, and Leclerc is deploying his battery exactly where he needs to, and he's holding on to this third place. It's lap number 14 of 24 of this race. There are 11 laps left to go, and the top 8 are the exact same as what happened in qualifying. Don't know, I wouldn't say that's the most exciting thing in the world, but we've had a couple of overtaking chances here and there, which has been interesting. But the top four, though, McLaren doing, I guess that McLaren are doing the right thing in terms of their Constructors' Championship. They are currently at risk of being overtaken by Ferrari, so their aim for now is to not get outscored by Ferrari for the DRS, for the Constructors' Championship, and get the first place, because I think it comes with an extra couple million in prize money. I think it's an extra 4 or 5 million, and who's going to say no to 4 or 5 million? So that's why they've told Piastri hold position, because if Norris gets overtaken by Leclerc, then he'll probably get overtaken by Verstappen also, and yeah, I mean, they're not going to outscore. Ferrari still won't outscore McLaren, but they will be closer to outscoring them. So who knows? Checo versus Lawson. Oh, indeed, we have. Checo just gets past here. Gets ahead of Lawson. Lawson re-overtakes him, though, going into turn number 4. And I'll keep an eye out on that then. Yeah, Checo versus Lawson is going to be an exciting one. All right. Pretty sure the McLarens are helping Leclerc. Well, I don't think they're intentionally helping Leclerc. Leclerc still hasn't got DRS. It might be, they might, they might hold Leclerc. I'm just reading the radios from Norris really to see if there's anything indicating that they're going to hold Leclerc. With a gap to Leclerc, we're happy if we can to hold these positions until the last lap. I don't know what that means. Are they going to swap positions on the last lap? But I think they just mean hold positions, as in keep Leclerc in third place and not let Verstappen get any closer. All right, Perez, though, 1.1 seconds back from Lawson. He did get very close to overtaking him on the previous lap, but now Gasly's caught up. Lawson has caught up to Gasly, who's going to give him DRS, and that's going to help out significantly. Norris is useless without a toe. Well, I would say that quite a lot of the drivers, the toe is very significant at this circuit. 5-6 tenths of a second that you gain out of a toe. So, it's well within Norris's. I think Norris has played the team game on a couple of occasions when he wouldn't have wanted to play the team game. So I think it's fair enough for the team to ask Piastri to play the team game on this occasion as well. All right. Now, here is Lawson versus Perez as they are making their way through the middle sector. Perez is getting closer and closer. We'll wait and see as they exit turn number 12. Lawson, does he have DRS on Gasly ahead of him? Yes, he does, and that is really going to help him out. Verstappen on the other side of the track has got DRS of Leclerc. He's pretty close, in fact, closer than he was previously, but can he get a move done to the inside? The McLarens make it through fine, and Charles Leclerc also holds on to third place. Very, very unfortunate there for Max Verstappen. No team games is definitely in Piastri's contract, Mark, number 2 driver. Yeah, no, there is. I think Mark Webber was very clear when the contract was signed with McLaren that he will not be driving as a number 2 driver. However, even though in the contract it may say, "Oh, don't drive as a number 2 driver," if Piastri is requested to, and he, if he says that he will do it, then it's still fine. Like as long as Piastri's fine with it. And in fact, Piastri's broken DRS there because Leclerc is no longer a threat. Leclerc's 1.5 seconds back. Piastri sets the fastest lap of the race, and he says, "See you later" to Lando Norris. I think that's exactly what will be happening. Nicely done. Okay. Folks, we're getting pretty close to 2,000 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. And we've got 17,000 people watching. Thank you, everyone, for tuning. Oh, Verstappen sends one down the inside of Leclerc. Leclerc makes a mistake going into turn number 4. And nicely done there from Max Verstappen. Sorry, just a correction there. Leclerc made a mistake out of turn number 3. Verstappen capitalised off it, confirmed the move into turn number 4. So very, very nicely done. He's now actually got 7 laps left to chase down Lando Norris. Ooh, this one's going to get spicy, folks. Piastri's just said see you later to Lando Norris. I think they're going to come over the radio to Piastri and say, oh, mate, can you slow down again? We need Norris in DRS because Verstappen's about to catch up. And let's keep an eye on this. The gap, 0.995 seconds. And as they come across the DRS detection point, Lando Norris has DRS, sure enough. It's funny how that works, isn't it? So 1.4 gap is the gap between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. There are no pit stops given that it's just a sprint race. 24 laps. The drivers do not have to come into the pits. And we've hit our like target. That is fantastic. Let me just... Might as well knock that up to 2,500 maybe. Let's wait and see what happens. But the gap now between the top drivers at the front, 0.7 of a second, and well, they're going to be deploying their battery. They know that Verstappen's going to be chasing them down. They've just said there's just a radio message to Verstappen saying, "Okay, mate, time to chase them down." And here we go, folks. We have got 6 laps left. The gap is 1.4 seconds. Do you think Max Verstappen is going to get the overtake done on Lando Norris, or will he, or will Lando Norris be able to hold on? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the chat. Lando Norris's rear tyres are done, though, by the looks of it, as he makes his way through turn number 12, I think it is, turn number 12, or is it turn number 14? I can't tell from the replay, but his tyres are really sliding about, and... yeah, Max Verstappen is, well, apparently in striking distance in 2 laps. I don't know, though, because the DRS is 0.5 of a second per lap, and that's going to be a huge advantage to Lando Norris. So let's wait and see. We've got Sergio Perez currently trying to overtake Liam Lawson. He dives to the inside. Lawson squeezes him all the way into the barrier, but Perez gets that move done. Very, very nicely done. Lawson is going to try to re-overtake them as they go into turn number 4. Lawson has the DRS that opens wide, and he's deploying all of his battery, but he's just too far back to get the overtake done on Sergio Perez. Perez now up into 8th, and that's 5 positions gained for Sergio Perez this weekend. Started in 13th position, now up into 8th. Fantastic job from him. All right, they've come over the radio to Lando Norris to say, we believe Verstappen is faster than Leclerc, essentially saying, Lando Norris, get on with it, otherwise Verstappen's going to catch you. And Verstappen is going to catch Lando Norris. The gap 1.6 seconds. Norris doesn't have DRS on this lap. It's 1.1 seconds is a gap between the 2 teammates, and Norris with no DRS, and Verstappen is immediately catching up. Wow. Hamilton got ahead of Colapinto. Nice move there from Hamilton, and yeah, but he's still in 12th place, and he's still lost 1 position in net. We've got a yellow flag. A yellow flag. Someone's going slowly. Nico Hülkenberg is going slowly, and has he spun? Has he crashed? I don't know, but we've got a yellow flag, and that could be a safety car. I still haven't got a shot of what's actually happened to Nico Hülkenberg. Yeah, the Haas driver who was up in 12th place now down into 8th. A double yellow flag now for Nico Hülkenberg. Both drivers going. So this could be an opportunity for Verstappen to catch up to Lando Norris. Hülkenberg's on the side of the track. The car is crawling around. I think it's some sort of engine issue. He's trying to restart the engine, get it going again. If he can manage to get it going, then he will continue on in the race. They're probably going to retire, probably, given that he's in last place. But he is off the circuit, so the drivers still can continue racing. Yeah, he's off the circuit in a pretty low-risk zone, as I would say. So 3 laps left of this race, and look at that gap up there, 1.1 seconds, and Norris, what? Are they swapping positions? They've just said swap positions. What? That is not what should be happening. There is no way that Norris is going to win this championship. I mean, there is a chance, so fair enough, but like, what's the... Okay, you know what? Why are they swapping positions, man? What is going on? Yeah, now it's Piastri's job to defend against Verstappen, and Norris is going to take the win. Piastri said thanks, mate. Oh no, they've said thanks, mate, to Piastri. Hulkenberg's got out of the car. The car's just parked on the inside of the circuit. I think they're just going to pick it up at the end of the race. And Verstappen's getting extremely racy now. Out of turn number 12, he's right on Piastri's tails. He gets a little snap of oversteer, which is going to compromise him. But a virtual safety car's been deployed now. A virtual safety car's been deployed, and I suspect it's going to be deployed to the end of this race. Because it's going to take a while to clear up Nico Hulkenberg's car. And that is unnecessary. Piastri was clearly quicker. They were telling him to slow down so Norris could keep within DRS range. Piastri also managed to get pole, and they've told him to swap positions. I mean, what I thought that the contract said no number 2 driver. Yeah, what? Hulkenberg's car is stationary on the inside of turn number 10, and they don't know when the virtual safety car is going to end. The drivers are going to be super prepared. They're going to be waiting on that delta, because as soon as it goes green again, Verstappen's going to try and make a move. But we're on the penultimate lap of this race, and the drivers are going to be driving around a limited, reduced speed. And I don't know. Of course, they would swap positions. Are you nuts? Well, see, this is the thing. It all depends on... See, this position swap depends on, do you actually think Lando Norris could win the championship? So I thought that the reasoning for keeping Piastri, to give Piastri gives Norris DRS is to make sure that McLaren retain a 1-2, and that is in McLaren's best interest for the Constructors' Championship, which they are leading right now, and they are under threat from Ferrari to potentially lose it. So it makes sense for them to say, okay, we're going to keep first and second place very, very close to each other, so they get DRS, and we keep a 1-2. However, for the Drivers' Championship, the points gap between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen is Verstappen's on 362 points, and Norris is on 315. There's a 47 point gap between those two drivers with 4 races left to go. Is that really feasible to close that up? So obviously the people at McLaren think it is, and that's why they've told the drivers to swap positions. Virtual safety car is ending, folks. VSC is ending. Verstappen is going to be right on his tail. He's going to get... Is DRS going to be enabled immediately off the restart? I'm not sure. But Verstappen is right on Piastri's tail. In fact, looking to the inside at turn number 4, and VSC is ending. Green flags are out, and Verstappen is... this is it, the final lap of the race, folks. It's going to be a drag race to the finish line. Verstappen will have DRS. Piastri will have DRS from Norris. And, let's wait and see. Here we go then, 24 laps. We're on lap number 24 of 24. The drivers in the top 3 are split by 1.5 seconds. And the most important thing for all of the drivers now is to get a perfect exit out of turn number 12. Norris gets a good exit, so does Piastri, and so does Verstappen. All 3 drivers get a good exit. All 3 drivers will have, the final 2 drivers will have DRS, and now they make their way towards the start-finish line. Lando Norris wins the sprint race, Piastri in second place, and Max Verstappen in third. Wow, what a turn of events. What a turn of events indeed. Leclerc and Sainz in 4th and 5th. George Russell across the line in 6th. Then Gasly in 7th. And Piastri in Perez in 8th. Very, very nicely done from Sergio Perez, making some progress. But, this is... Your opinion on this will be, it depends on whether you think Norris deserves to have an attempt at winning this championship. Some people think that it's far too, I personally think 48 points in 4 races is far too big, and that's why I'm going to say, they shouldn't have swapped positions. But obviously someone down at McLaren's believes that it is possible, and that is why they are swapping positions. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. We've had 20,000 people tuned into live stream. I'm going to end the live stream now. I'll take you over to the race live stream for tomorrow. We're going to have even more action for the race. So go ahead, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and the reminder button. It massively helps out the channel, and I'll be commentating in 3 hours time, 3.5 hours time for the qualifying. Yeah. All right, I'll take you over to the race, and then my qualifying live stream will be up on my channel page as well. thank you very much, and I will see you in a couple hours.